Howdy, I'm Chance.
Really? All right. Well, I can't say it. I can't do that. I cannot do that. All right. Hello, y'all. I'm Sergio. We're the fastest hands in the West. And no one busting our chops.
And this is Brick Wall Cinema.
Welcome to the party, pal! Oh my God. That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me! I'm a peacock! You gotta let me fly!
Have you ever met a person you say, hey, let me get some parfait? They say, hell no, I don't like no parfait.
Hey, where are the white women at?
All right, disclaimer, this movie has some very racially motivated topics. And, this is basically just, I don't know how to properly say this, but basically this is just your warning for audience for the fact that this is a movie that has some very, I don't even know how to say this.
Racy topics?
Yes. I honestly don't know how to say this in a proper way. How do you say that?
Say
because
what?
mostly there's a bunch of this. Every movie that has something like this usually has disclaimers before it. They always have it in subtitles, or sometimes they even say it. But how do you actually say that in a proper way?
There are contents in this movie and in this podcast that we'll be addressing that are controversial for others and will make people cringe.
But this isn't cringe. This is racism. This is racism.
But this is. Yes, but there's also pointing out the racism in that time period, in that era.
Okay.
Wait, we should go into basic info first. The movie is rated R, directed by Mel Brooks, released in theaters on February 7th, 1974.
Chance, don't act like you're surprised by this because you know full well that you planned to release this on the anniversary.
The 55th anniversary, to be exact.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. I planned it since my birth.
Yes.
Anyway, the runtime is 1 hour and 33 minutes. With a budget of $2.6 million, and it grossed $119 million worldwide. Easy to say that this was a huge success, financially and critically, but that's hard to say, honestly, now, like back then, because there was a lot of flack from the NAACP about this movie too. But let's get into the Rotten Tomatoes score. For critics, it was 89%, and for audiences, 91%. So nowadays, people love it. But then again, people nowadays either never heard of it or just know it as that racist cowboy movie from the 70s. Let's start with the cast. We got Cleavon Little as Sheriff Bart.
Are any of these people still alive?
I bet some people are. Mel Brooks is still alive.
I know Mel Brooks, but he's the director, right?
Yeah, and also the governor, the Indian chief, the aviator applicant. And
are they in any other movies right now, or have they just retired?
Cleavon Little passed away. Gene Wilder passed away, and Harvey Korman passed away in 2008.
Then should we really name the cast? Because I mean, it's not like we're gonna know them from anywhere because most of them are pretty much done with their careers.
Gene Wilder, people know Gene Wilder.
Who's Gene Wilder?
Willy Wonka.
Okay, is he still alive?
No.
This is what I mean when I say, should we even mention these? Because a lot of these people have passed away.
Well, the only person people our age would know possibly is Gene Wilder.
I had never heard of his name, and only know him, and the only reason why I would recognize him is because of Willy Wonka was popular, but I haven't seen it.
You ever seen the original Willy Wonka movie?
I believe I have seen part of it, but I was never able to finish it because it was always on TV back then, so I was never able to watch the whole thing. Even then, I couldn't find a DVD or nothing that would actually allow me to watch it on my own time. This is before streaming. Honestly, I don't even know if any streaming service has it.
Yes, they do have it, man. This is
where?
It's a huge movie. I'm not going to tell you where, but I know for a fact that they would have it on there. It's not forsaken. It's not lost in the winds of time. Fun fact, Richard Pryor was supposed to be playing the role of Bart, but then the studio insisted to have someone else in the role. But Richard Pryor still helped with the screenplay for the movie. And I'm starting to think that you don't know who Richard Pryor is. Do you know who Richard Pryor is, Sergio?
Richard Pryor. Who is Richard Pryor? You're going to have to remind me. I can't go based off their names.
Okay, he starred in a lot of Gene Wilder movies. He was in See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Stir Crazy, Silver Shriek, Another You.
I have not seen any of those movies, and the only reason why I would know Hear No Evil is because we talked about it when we talked about it in a previous episode when we went over the trailers of that was Say No Evil, was it? Or Speak No Evil?
Yeah.
And then you said they made reference to See No Evil, Hear No Evil, which was about a blind guy and a deaf guy. And that's the only reason why I even know that movie. So yeah, a lot of these movies I do not know. I never even heard of.
Well, Richard Pryor was just a comedian back in the 70s that was really popular and had a lot of movies come out around the 70s and 80s and to like the early 90s. He's even started a movie with Eddie Murphy, Harlem Nights.
I have not heard of that one either.
What about Superman 3?
Which one?
The third one from 83?
Nope. If it was from that time, nope.
You got to know about the toy, Sergio.
What toy?
The movie The Toy, where he plays, where a rich guy buys Richard Pryor to help make his kid happy because his son said, "I want him."
No, there's a few movies with that kind of thing, but no, I do not remember anything with that.
Fine then. I guess it's not going to help at all bringing the thing up. Anyway,
the synopsis.
Yes, let's go into the synopsis.
A town where everyone seems to be named Johnson stands in the way of the railroad. To grab their land, robber Baron Hedley, is it Hedley? How do you say his name again? He said it so many times in the movie, but I cannot know how to pronounce it. Hedley Lemar sends his henchmen to make life in the town unbearable. After the sheriff is killed, the town demands a new sheriff from the governor. So Hedley convinces him to send the town the first black sheriff in the West. So what are we going to talk about first?
You know this movie had an Oscar nomination?
No.
It had 3 Oscar nominations for Best Supporting Actress for Madeline Kahn. She sang the song, "I'm So Tired."
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that whole scene of her singing in front of the stage and talking about how she's tired of sex and love?
She's Russian, isn't she? Or she's pretending to be?
She had like the weird like accent where she always said like what?
Yeah, was that Russian?
I don't know. It sounded like Emmer Fudd.
I thought it was German or Dutch. I'm not sure. To be honest, I kind of forgot her whole character.
Yeah, she comes and goes, but she has a good memorable scene though. There's also Best Film Editing and for Best Song. Can you guess which one?
The first one, the opening, right?
Yep.
I kind of guess as much because the guy who made it he's pretty famous, is he?
Yeah. So another fun fact: when Mel Brooks hired him, he didn't say that it was a comedy, so he thought of it as a serious Western. So he sung his ass off in that opening.
Uh-huh. He even mentioned that the fact that even though when he first saw it and realized it was a comedy, he actually wasn't mad about it or anything. He actually was pretty impressed with how it was made. He liked it.
Yeah. So you want to get into why this movie shouldn't be made, or do you think we should put that last, and talk about our favorite scenes?
Why it should be made or shouldn't?
Why it can't be made?
Why it can't be made? You gotta be more specific than that. You gotta specify.
All right. So let me just point this out. So ever since movies came out, like in the past 20, 30 years since movies came out, people have been saying how you cannot make Blazing Saddles nowadays. And on one hand, they're right. But whenever they bring it up, it's always because of the racism part. That is a factor. But another big factor that, once I tell you, will make it all make more sense is that they did their job too well.
Can you specify?
Yeah. So back in this era, just like the 70s, way to the beginning of television, they had Westerns come out because they're easy to make and you can have a lot of them going on at the same time. Around this time when this movie came out, there was over 50 TV shows of 50 Westerns on at least 4 channels that were available to the public. And they all had to go through some strict guidelines because back then, TV shows had to have a rule where if they had to be all child friendly because any child could be switching to the channels and it can't be showing anything vulgar and inappropriate.
So they did this as a way to kind of shake the system, basically.
Yes, because like what they were showing in those Westerns were a fantasized version of the West where everyone's so happy and everything like that and it's all good and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But this one pointed hard reality saying this is what it was like. It was racist back then. It was weird. It was messed up.
But they don't really show too much of what it's like to be in Western because they do a lot of like pop culture topics.
Yeah, but that's all Mel Brooks stuff.
All right. And then you can kind of see where I'm confused with this movie. I got confused saying like, hey, this is at first when it started off in the very first opening, it seemed like this is going to be like saying life in the Western sucks. And there's just going to follow this comedic story of this sheriff, as he is the first black sheriff. But then it gets into a bunch of culture stuff, which got me confused on a lot of stuff of what it was trying to do. Also, the actor who plays Jim, technically his deputy, but he's never formally put as deputy. He says he has a shaky hand, which is why he can't shoot his gun anymore. Why he's no longer considered the fastest gun in the West. And then suddenly he can shoot just fine. Was there something I missed? Did he get over his trauma or something?
Nerves.
Yeah, did he get over it or something?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was just nerves.
Okay.
Because you see him when there was a point where he was trying to get up to go leave, and he got up and Bart was trying to mess with him by acting like he's going to shoot a gun out, and he just got his hands out pretty well, and they were steady. Like, good things those fingers weren't loaded.
So then that was it?
Yeah.
That was very fast, very convenient. And then they made a bunch of references to modern day problems. Then it gets into when Bert starts acting like Bugs Bunny. Well, I would say Bugs Bunny kind of way, because when his first duty as sheriff, when Mugsley, is it
Mongo?
Yeah,
Candy get from Mongo.
Yeah, he tricks him by giving him a telegram, or I guess it's that version of some kind of message, and then tricks him into blowing himself up in the face. To me, it felt like a Looney Tunes kind of humor.
It was. They played the song. That wasn't the idea.
Yes, that's what I mean. It was a Looney Tunes kind of humor. So that got me thinking, all right, so this is going to be that kind of comedy. But then after that, it doesn't really do that anymore. So that got me confused on where the humor was going from. It got me very confused on what it is the tone was going to be for the rest of the movie. Because then it gets into the fact that he tries to be seduced by the woman who has a weird accent. And he has a different demeanor from then compared to with Mongo.
How's it hard for you to say Mongo? It's not that hard. Mongo.
Because it's a weird name. Jesus, I'm not good with that name. Anyway, it's very different from how he was with Mongo. So I was confused on what it is the humor is going to be with for the rest of the time. Because in this one, he just acts calm, cool, and collected, which is different from how he acted with the other scenes. And it kind of did a flip flop, and I was confused on where it was going to go. I guess I'm saying is that this movie was weirdly not very consistent.
Dude, it's a parody.
Yeah.
I mean, not very parody. It's really a satire.
Yeah. It felt like a bunch of short things put into one.
Yeah.
So I was confused on what it is it was trying to do. You're saying that it was trying to be a hard reality of what life was like in the West.
Not hard. Okay, I'll rephrase it. More like exaggerated look on how it was back then. Even though some things they are really like back then, or really like the topics that they're bringing up are hardcore, but they're doing it in an exaggerated way. Does that make any sense?
Sort of, because then I'm start questioning, like, was this stuff very common in the West?
Slaves? Yes.
No, slaves, I always knew. Everyone knows that. It's already been taught in every kind of classroom of American history. Slavery is always a big part. But this is after slavery. And I know it was mostly Chinese workers that actually made the railway. It was mostly immigrant workers that did that. I'm not sure how many African Americans were actually involved in the construction. I do know that the Irish were that everyone was very prejudiced against the Irish. The Irish were actually the first slaves before African Americans were brought over from the slave trade. Then there was when they made the town. That's what I thought was the funniest part, when they made the fake town and they had that big fight in there.
Oh yeah, where they went through the stages.
Yeah, that was funny. But then I got me questioning, why is it doing this?
Because they're focusing more on jokes than anything else.
Yes. So that got me confused. Like, what is this movie trying to do? Is it just a pure comedy?
Yes.
Is it trying to make a satire of something?
It's pure comedy.
I don't know. It's because when it first got off, it felt like so serious that it was taking place in this time period, and then it just goes more and more off the rails as time goes on. Yep. So I was confused on what to expect from this.
You don't think that was intentional?
No, I don't know. I honestly couldn't keep track of it.
Yeah, they're mainly focusing on their jokes first, story second, and race topics third. So
it's not really about race or anything like that. It's just them making jokes about about life in Western, but then it gets off the rails and just makes a fun of the fact that it's a movie.
Yes.
So
It's Sergio. This is from the same director as Spaceballs. Have you not seen Spaceballs?
I have seen Spaceballs, but it makes reference to very popular stuff that we would know nowadays.
Yeah, and they break in the fourth wall in that movie too.
Well, yeah. Did it win any awards?
Did it win any awards? Does it matter?
No, you said that this one was nominated for some awards. I'm asking, did it win anything?
No, this one was only nominated.
Okay. I would ask about what else was nominated, but I feel like we would be here too long.
Yeah.
For me, basically, I was just very confused, and I wasn't sure what to expect. I did find some funny parts funny, but for me, I was just very confused.
I can see that. For me, I think people can already tell how I feel about this movie. I love this movie. I always rewatch it.
Okay, I think you need to specify that you love watching this movie.
Okay, not because
I'm pretty sure some people would actually think that you would actually hate this movie because of the fact that many people point out that it's racist.
You know what? You would think so, but comparing this to like movies nowadays, where I feel like they're trying to do something right by bringing racist things, like the Magical Negro movie that came out a couple months ago, as we're recording this, that movie pissed me off because they're sincerely saying that we should have more mystical Negroes in movies because that's what saved the day. That's not the point of the Magical Negro. It's the point of the Magical Negro is to not have it because it's a common thing that happens in every movie and people don't like it. They point it out. That's the joke. Spike Lee came up with the idea of magical Negroes, and they, instead of saying, "Oh, that's bad, we shouldn't do that anymore," we should try having more diverse ideas on how we should help people, our like supporting actors, be helping our main lead. But no, they go full in and think that they're trying to make a message and make a statement by saying how, "Oh, we need them because they help us be happy with our lives." But no, get out of here with that. Off.
I thought it was going to be something like where appreciate the people who actually help you in life, but they twisted it by saying it's the Magical Negro Society. It feels wrong saying that. I feel so. Oh my gosh!
It's the first time I actually heard you say that before.
I know. This is why every time we mention that movie, I feel like the Magical something society. I don't want to say that. It feels so wrong.
Well, sure, you're saying the movie. If you say, you can't get mad at yourself for saying it. That's what they advertise it as. So, which makes it harder for them to advertise the movie by saying it's called the Magical Society of Negroes, because half of the demographic's not going to want to say one of the words in your title.
Yeah. So why did they even put it like that? What was the point of even making that movie?
I don't know, man. Because the joke's already way too late. No one's talking about that anymore. That was in the early 2000s. But back to Blazing Saddles. This movie knows what it's doing. It is racist. Like, it's sort of saying, yeah, this was racist back then, but this is now. We're going to do it differently. We're going to have the black guy made a main lead, and he is competent. He is smart.
I'm not sure if you can say it like that because of the fact that this was made a very, very long time ago.
Well, 70s. But still, even in the 70s, they had a male black lead.
That was 50 years ago.
And in 55 years ago, they had a black lead on a cowboy western movie, and he is a smart guy. He's not dumb. He's not chucking and jiving. He's actually being the smartest person in the room sometimes.
But I'm not sure if that's saying much because everyone is being stupid in here.
Exactly.
Because of the fact that it's a comedy.
The one smart person in the movie is actually a black guy. And it's not as a joke or a thing where he dies first or anything like any horror movie. No, he is just a competent man. Yet the whole world around him is stupid.
Everyone's dumb in a horror movie.
Yeah, but this is like, okay. So I'm getting heated now. Okay, so here we go. Like, God, okay.
I mean, I agree with you that he's the most competent guy in this movie, but I'm not sure if that's saying much when every single person is stupid.
Except Jim.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's the only person who has at least average intelligence, but I'm not sure if that's saying much when the whole point of the movie is that everyone is stupid. Also, because the fact that it's a comedy, I'm not sure if saying he's smart adds anything. Because to me, that points out the fact that it sounds even more like Looney Tunes, where like the only competent guy tricks everyone else into getting what he needs.
Yeah, he's like Bugs Bunny in multiple instances in this movie. Even remember that whole scene? One of my favorite scenes actually. Let's segue that into my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is when Bart goes to Rockridge for the first time, and he's trying to read a speech, and someone has a gun. Everyone has a gun to him.
It's strange how everyone has a gun, yet they call for a sheriff.
Yeah, and even the only other person that was on his side in the whole town was a priest, and he got his Bible shot off. It's like, son, you're on your own. So apart from that, right after that, he gets his gun. He gets his own gun, puts it to his head, does a voice, and acts. And everyone actually is scared of him, saying, "All right, man, stop it. He's not bluffing."
Hold it. The next man makes a move, the gets it.
Hold it, man. He's not bluffing. Listen to him, man. He's just crazy enough to do it.
Oh, Lordy Lord, he's desperate. Do what he say. Do what he say.
Isn't anybody gonna help that poor man? Help me! Help me! Help me!
Shut up.
That's some Bugs Bunny shit right there.
True. But I still don't get how that works because he's proclaiming to shoot his own head off when everyone wants to do that.
Because they see a blackout gut have a gun toward someone's head.
Oh.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't get much of the humor in this. The only thing I found funny was when this drunkard comes up and slaps the podium that the pastor's on.
Oh,
he's like, yeah. I honestly don't even know what he's saying, but he's like, "And now you get your ass back out here. This is
In no way that nobody's gonna leave this town. I was born here, and I was raised here, and dadgummit, I'm gonna die here. And no sidewinding, bushwhacking, hornswoggling, crocker is gonna roll away, biscuit cutter.
To be honest, I feel like that would be more entertaining to just hear someone just spout off gibberish every now and again saying like "Reverend," but it's just for that scene that he does that.
Yeah.
Then everyone gets up and they all call Johnson.
Is this your favorite scene?
I think it is one of my favorite scenes because it makes fun of the fact, like stuff that you would find cliche in Western. There's always a drunkard, there's a pastor, there's a bunch of people who have the same name because it's a small town. And they're always like with each other saying like in a church, there's always something like that in a Western. That was funny because it felt like making fun of a Western.
Yeah, and this one, and it ends with all the horses going through the church.
those are cattle.
Yeah, all the cattle going. Yes, cows are cows.
Yes, you said horses.
I said cows.
You said horses.
No, I said cows.
If we go back in this recording, I swear you said horses. Do not test me on this.
I said cows.
Do not test me.
I won't test you. I'm testing myself. I'm gonna look back.
Do not test me. I'm sheriff around here. I do have, like I said, I do have one more critique. I have been critiquing this movie a lot, but I do think the governor does act overly stupid. But there are some, like this joke with the paddle where he's like, "Why is this defective?" Because he can't hit it. Yet the other guy's able to hit it just fine. He's like, "Right as usual, sir." But I do think he acts a little too dumb or like too over the top in this part because I feel like it just goes over the top. I feel like it's too much.
It's a glorified director's cameo.
Yeah, I know, but I still feel like it's just a bit too much.
I thought it was funny. He just his weirdness.
He's cross-eyed. He's hopping around and he keeps saying,
Work. Hello, boys. Have a good night's rest. I missed you.
I feel like that's too much for me.
Yeah, and
especially in live action. I mean, I wouldn't feel too much about it if it was animated, I guess. I guess it's just because I find it better in that kind of humor in animated movies, whereas in live action, it feels like I'm watching a kid, I guess.
I just noticed he's wearing no pants in that whole scene.
You just noticed that? I noticed that when I first watched it.
I think I know why they had him act like that, because he is supposed to be a kid. He doesn't know what he's doing. So he need to have someone behind that work under him, tell him what to do to get his way. It's like that scene from the Simpsons movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger as the president and the guy under him that works for EPA.
EPA?
Yeah, it's like that scene where he's like, I was elected to lead, not to read.
You mean the movie?
Yes.
I've narrowed your choices down to 5 unthinkable options. Each will cause untold misery.
I picked number 3.
You don't even want to read them first?
I was elected to lead, not to read. Number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for this movie.
Yeah, but I think Simpsons did it better.
Well, they had over 30 years to plan, Sergio.
True. But they had 30 years?
Well, I mean, that's a whole other story for another movie, another review.
We'll do that in another review. Who knows? Some of this.
I know. We will. Stay tuned. Anyway.
What else can we talk about?
I got notes, but I'm not even on my notes yet. We're still on my favorite. Let's go quotes. Because I know you might have some favorite quotes in this.
I don't know if I have any quotes because honestly, I could not quote anything in this movie.
Really?
Yeah. Like I said, I forgot a lot of stuff that happens in the movie because I either was not interested in what was going on, or there was very few moments that I found funny that I just was like, that I actually laughed at. Like I said, this movie got me very confused, so I could not concentrate what it was saying.
Okay, so I'll tell you the few I have then. The first one is, like, it's the beginning of the movie where you see Taggart for the first time. He's like, shoots his gun off, he's like,
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
The second one is my favorite quote in any movie. Can you guess what it is?
No, because you said that about different movies.
Okay, for this movie though.
No, I cannot. Because to be honest, I feel like a lot of the stuff in this movie is stuff that you would only say.
Later in the movie where you see Jim talking to the clan members.
Hey, boys, look what I got here.
You see him pull a bar and I was like,
Hey, where are the white women at?
yeah, you know, Sergio knows me for going to every bar, and I say that every single time I just go into the club. That's the first thing I say.
Disclaimer, we do not go to bars.
But we do go to clubs and get turned up.
Chances of prolific life.
We get riggedy wrecked. And my last one is,
Piss on you. I'm working for Mel Brooks.
you don't remember that?
No, I remember that. I just don't get it.
It's just the idea of like, fuck you, I'm working for this director. Fuck you. And just beat the shit out of a guy.
To be honest, Chance, a lot of the stuff in here I do not get. Like I said before, it's very confusing for me.
Okay. So I got some stats for the movie. One fact. So I counted how many times they said the word in this movie.
The N-word?
Yes, the N-word. They said 14 times.
Is that the highest in any movie, or is it just...
No.
What movie has a higher count?
Off the top of my head, I believe Django.
I don't know. I think we'll have to do like that'd be a topic for a different time, but yeah, okay.
What other time we're going to mention mention the N-word, how many times they say it, unless we do Django?
I mean, yeah, but there are a number of other movies that have mentioned that word before.
But I feel like we wouldn't tackle those because they feel like they're really hard-hitting movies, and I don't think we want to bring our crowd down.
The Magical Society.
I'm not moving that. I am not going to review that movie. No.
I mean, we did do it for technically this movie because of how often they actually mentioned the N-word.
Yeah, this is the only time they're going to get that. Only time. I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of me reviewing that movie. I love the people in that movie. I love nothing against the people that worked on that movie. I should specify. Nothing against the people that worked on the movie, but the final result of what they got, yeah, I don't like that. I'm not part of it.
We really specified that in our Wish episode where we have nothing against the people who actually make the movie. It's just that when the finished product is something we don't understand, we can't actually appreciate it.
Yeah. So I got some other things. We're going into our notes now. Does this count as a musical?
I do not think so. I honestly don't even remember that many songs.
They have over 3 songs in this movie.
Are the people actually singing it?
2 of them, yes.
And 2 of them.
Actually, 3. The first one is where they were singing about Rock Ridge at the beginning of the movie. Because it cuts to everyone in the church singing it.
Yeah, but it's not actually them putting on a performance.
Okay, second one. When Madeline Kahn is singing about how she's so tired.
Is that it?
No, I said 3. The third one is at the end of the movie when they're going to different stages and that whole song that they're playing at the other movie.
But they don't. That's just them practicing for it. They don't actually do anything. Just that one thing, and then.
Dude, that counts.
That counts.
You know what? Let's bring up the question. Would it count as a musical if in that world of the movie they are singing, not to express their feelings, but just in that setting? Does that count?
I don't think it does. The whole point of a movie being a musical is that the music actually tells you something about the story.
I guess it could be both though, because Baby Driver, that counts as a musical.
It counts as a musical?
I say it would. It uses music to help elevate the story and help you understand the psyche of the characters. I
think that has something to do with just the fact, but no one sings.
Yeah, but you don't need to sing to convey emotion. They can have.
No, I know but singing does not just convey emotion. The whole point of a musical is that the actors are performing and singing.
But there's choreography, though.
Choreography in Baby Driver.
Yes, not only for the dancing, but I mean not only for the driving and also for the fighting and gunplay.
Everything is choreographed in a movie.
The opening scene of them walking, with all the music playing in the background, and everything is walking around down to get coffee, they can see someone playing a saxophone. It's playing to the tone of the song in his head. And also the graffiti is matching the lyrics of the song. There's also people walking down the street that are playing music like on their iPod Nano that's shuffling to the beat of the song. And also he's walking by a trumpet. There's a trumpet in the song at that exact moment.
So then does that mean that Puss in Boots' Last Wish is a musical?
How the hell did you get that?
Well, because you're saying that everything's going along with the speed of the music. Everything does that in Puss in Boots' Last Wish. Everything is the sword chanting, the sword clinking. All the music is going along with the music beat and the rhythm. So then would that be classified as a musical?
I'll say if it has to have more than 2 songs, it'll count as a musical. Or 3. Yeah, 3.
Because for me, when I think of a musical, I think back on other musicals that I know of, mostly Disney, like The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, The Greatest Showman. They all have musicals. I look at them to see what it is a musical. If they don't fit into that kind of criteria, then I consider them not a musical.
What about Dreamgirls?
I have not seen Dreamgirls.
Well, that movie, they performed their songs on the stage.
Do they actually sing?
Yes.
They dance.
Yes, they are on a stage. Yes.
And they do it at 3 times.
They perform. It's a musical. It counts. It counts.
But do they do it 3 times? Because you just said that they had to do it at least 3 times. So they performed 3 different musicals.
Yes! God, Sergio! God, yes!
I know, I'm trying to clarify. Okay, so they performed 3 different musical numbers, right?
Yes! How many times did I say yes?
So then it does classify by your standards as a musical, yes?
Yes.
Okay. But in this one, they don't really perform. They just sing one number and that's it. And then there's only one of them is where they actually perform and sing. But it has nothing to do with the story.
But there are songs that are written for the movie.
Like which ones?
Every one of the songs is written for the movie. None of them are original songs. None of them are already existing songs. They were made for the movie. Even the French mistake at the end of the song, stick out your hand, stick out your tush. That song, that was original.
Okay, I kind of see that because I don't see anyone using that for anything else.
They did in Family Guy.
They sang that same song.
Yes, as a joke because they put Peter into a paraded getaway camp and they said it's not working because it cuts at him dancing like that, dancing to that song.
Okay, this thing has a very Family Guy kind of humor where it just makes fun of everything without actually having consistent tones. Am I wrong?
God, Sergio.
Wait, in that case, is Family Guy a musical?
Yes. Well, no, depends on the episode.
So this one is in kind of a gray area by your standards because they do have musical numbers, but it's not classified as a musical, is it?
This one, no. I mean, it's not a musical. Damn, is that happy?
No, I'm trying to get with your logic. This is the whole reason why we're discussing this. Because you asked, is this a musical? I said probably not, because it's not categorized as one and it's not meant to be one.
It could be a hidden musical.
Why would it be a hidden musical?
You know, I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole with you. This is already long enough. Okay.
Do we even have anything to talk about?
Yes, I have more. God. Okay. So you know when the first thing that the Indian chief said when he saw the black family?
What?
Francis.
I honestly don't understand what he was saying throughout the entire scene.
He was speaking Yiddish.
What's Yiddish?
Well, that was a term. That was a Yiddish term that some Jewish people refer to as a black person.
Why would they use that then?
Because Mel Brooks is Jewish.
So then why would they have an Indian guy?
Because
Native American. I don't get the joke. To be honest, it feels like that would only be something that Jewish people would know because they're the ones who actually speak that language.
Let's go into our ratings, Sergio. I feel like, yeah.
I'll go first. I was very confused throughout this whole movie. It was enjoyable, but I could not figure out what to make of it. I'll give it a 3 out of 5.
All right. Well, I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 5 stars. I love all the humor that was in the movie. It's my type of humor. It's the type of humor that it's not afraid to say what it wants to say and does it in a comedic way, whereas I feel like it's heavy-handed, like something that's trying to make a message or anything. It is fun, but also making a statement at the same time. And that's my type of movie. My type of humor, whereas thought-provoking. Because clearly we talked a lot about this and not even getting to like some other things I want to talk about. And there's still a lot to talk like just about this movie. The idea of this movie being made nowadays, it's not existent anymore because it did, like I said before, it did its job too well. After this movie came out, all the other Westerns that came out are serious, gritty, realistic type of movies. Like after this movie came out, we had Unforgiven, Dancing with Wolves, Tombstone, those type of westerns where they were heavily handed, not taking themselves, not a fantasy aspect of fantasy of the West, but more of a gritty version of the West, to contrast what we had with Blazing Saddles, because we can't go back to the era where they are fantastical or just turn your brain off anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So knowing culturally that this movie impacted a whole freaking subgenre after its release, and no one's talking about it nowadays, like how it just can't be made because of the racism. It's amazing, but they need to explain more why it can't be made. Because nowadays, the only way you can make it like this is if it's like a superhero movie or something, like a parody of superhero movies. And that's not going to happen anytime soon because they're getting more diverse too.
True. So
yeah,
I'm
you
not
cannot
really
make
sure.
another Blazing Saddles movie.
Well, because there's nothing to parody.
Exactly.
Everything has already gotten so real that there's nothing to parody because you'll be making fun of the real thing.
Yeah, and we got more diverse as a war, and the world's got more diverse and more accepting that it's not going to be as hard hitting.
I'm not sure what would be hard hitting because even when I watch this, I honestly can't think of this as hard hitting because of the fact that I grew up in this new age where everything's supposed to be more accepting and more progressive. But so when I watch something like this, I can't really imagine how it's much of an impact. Because back then they were trying to do something out of left field, something that hasn't been seen before. But we've seen stuff like this all the time, and granted in different ways than they do in this one, which is now gone. But I'm not sure how they would even be able to do this anymore.
Right.
Anyways, I think that's all we got, right?
We have one more thing, Sergio.
Well, then go ahead and say it.
Strap on your saddles because we're going to do a quiz.
Really?
Yeah.
What quiz will we do that we can get done in just a few minutes?
A Blazing Saddles quiz. We're going to knock it out, all right? You're right. We're going to knock it out, all right? I tell you the questions. You're going to give me the answer as soon as you can.
Just hurry up and say the questions.
All right. Question 1. What was the problem with where the tracks for the railroad were going so that it had to be diverted to Rock Ridge? Gypsies, Indians, quicksand, or flash flood?
Quicksand.
Correct. Question 2. What bath time toy does Hedley Lemar freak out about if he cannot find it? Piggy, Ducky, Froggy, or Moody?
Froggy.
Correct.
Why does this even have to be this long?
Question 3. Who played the new sheriff of Rock Ridge? Richard Pryor, Mel Brooks, Slim Pickens, or Cleavon Little?
I do not remember his name. Richard Pryor.
Wrong. Cleavon Little. Question 4. In Blazing Saddles, Madeline Kahn was trying to impersonate what former actress? Madonna, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Glenn Close, or Marlene Dietrich?
I do not know.
Only one of the people were alive when the movie came out.
I do not know, Chance. You know I do not know.
Guess.
Catherine Zeta-Jones?
No. Okay, I already tell you. Wrong. Question 5. What Western icon turned down a role in Blazing Saddles? Jerry Silverman, Gene Wilder, John Wayne, or Bruce Dern?
You said this before. I think it was Gene Wilder.
Wrong. He was Jim.
Wait, John. That was John Wayne.
No, Jim was Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder was Jim. Question 6. Who in the Blazing Saddles cast was born Jerry Silverman? Gene Wilder, Cary Grant, Mel Brooks, or Slim Pickens?
What?
Who was originally born as Jerry Silverman, but then changed their name once they got to Hollywood?
Cary Grant?
Wrong. Wasn't in the movie. Question 7. What was Lily Von Stoop's nickname? The Talented Trinket, the Titanic Tipster, the Tectonic Titwillow, or the Trippy Trinket?
The Talented Trinket?
Wrong. Question 8. What brand of Western saddle was Sheriff Bart riding in his Palomio in? Gucci, Texan, Slimco, or Pesosa?
Gucci.
Correct. Question 9. Who was in the Mojave Desert playing music when Sheriff Bart rode in a Palomo? Count Bass and the Orchestra, The Who, Desi Arnaz and his orchestra, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Crosby, Stills, and the Young?
Wrong, it was Count Bass and Orchestra. Question 10. Who legally changed his name to Slim Pickens? Tom Jones, Michael Smith, Bart Simpson, Louis Burt Little League Jr.
Tom Jones?
Wrong, wasn't in the movie. Question 11. What is the Waco kid's first name? John, Jim, Jack, or Jake?
Jim.
Correct. Question 12. What did Mel Brooks, the Sioux Indian chief, say after he let Bart's family go? They smell worse than us. They're darker than us. We need allies against the white people. So long. Have a nice journey.
They darker than us. I'm not even
Correct.
sure why. I don't even like this quiz.
Question 13. Dom DeLuise played the character of the song and dance number. Dom's wife played what part? Patricia Johnson, Tavern Wench, the old lady who got beat up, or Harriet the schoolmarm?
The old lady who got beat up?
Wrong. Question 14. What work song did the black men working on the werewolf sing first? Camptown Ladies, I Get a Kick Out of You, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, or Go Tell It on a Mountain?
I know Camptown Ladies, Swing Low were not in it. I Get a Kick Out of You?
Some get their kick from cocaine.
I do not know that song.
Correct. But question 15. What did Sheriff Bart invent to beat Mongo? Bull riding, the telegram, the candygram, or chick roping?
Telegram.
Telegram?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Wrong. You got a candygram for Mongo.
What the
Candygram for Mongo.
I could have sworn he said telegram.
It's a candygram for Mongo because Mongo says, I like candy, and blows up.
Oh, okay.
Good job, Sergio. You got 6 out of 15 right. You got to retake the class. Sergio, you said you wanted harder questions.
I never said that.
You said it too easy then.
I never said it was too easy.
Yes, you did.
No, when?
Ghostbusters.
Yes, because we literally just watched it and we had a whole.
You just watched Blazing Saddles.
And I told you I could not understand anything that was happening on screen because I was so confused.
You're a sore loser, Sergio.
You're the one who picked it.
See, that's what a sore loser would say.
A sore loser would said it was too hard.
You did say it was too hard.
I didn't say it was too hard. I said I don't get it.
You said it was too hard.
I never said it was too hard.
You say you don't like this quiz.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Why?
Because I had to repeat what the lady said, which is not making me feel good. And also, you're forgetting that we're gonna have to go to another recording after this. You know that, right?
Oh, right. We're gonna record another episode.
This is why I'm saying, hurry up. Let's go.
Okay, fine. All right. So, good job, Sergio. 6 out of 15. You do better next time. And to wrap this all up, I'm Chance.
I'm Sergio.
And have a cinematic day. What was that? What?
I hate it here.
I hate it here. I want to go home.
I hate it here too, Sergio, but it's my job. All right. Bye, everyone. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening. And be sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok at Brick Wall Cinema. Have a cinematic day.